What's good, YouTube? Yeah, this isn't my normal setting. I'm on the phone today. Today is May 6th, and I had my normal little 4-week checkup. It was a catastrophe. My appointment was at 9:45. They told me come at 8:45 so I can do my glucose. I get there at 8:45. I sit there for 20 minutes. It's now 9:10ish when they let me know that, oh, we don't have orders for you to have a glucose. Can you run upstairs, check in, and have them send the order down? Okay. So I do that. I come back downstairs. I sit another 10 minutes. I drink the glucose. It's an hour glucose test. Now, my appointment is at 10. It's 9:20. I need to be back downstairs to get my blood drawn in the lab at 10:20. All right, cool. We go back upstairs, and I sit and I wait for my appointment. They call me for my appointment. The nurse, the intake nurse, is, she takes my weight, she takes my blood pressure. She's like, your heart rate's a little elevated. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit ill. Because Mondays are my only days to sleep in for the whole entire week. I'm up super early to be here, and y'all don't have your stuff together. Whatever, we're going to keep it moving, right? So when she's walking me to the room, she's like, well, you're 28 weeks and 1 day today, so we're going to do your Tdap shot, and I'll just come back after the doctor has seen you and give you the shot. And I just stand there. I don't even walk in the room. I just stop, and I just stand there. And she's like, is that okay? And I was like, well, sweetheart, you're not asking me if it's okay. You just told me. Like, okay, so pause. We all know how I feel about me being the biggest part of my care team. You don't tell me what you're going to do. You ask me what we're going to do today, and this is what I recommend. Number two, this is a conversation that should have been had the last appointment. Coming up on your next appointment, you'll be 28 weeks. We like to do this, and this. That gives people time to do research. That gives people time to get understanding and to ask questions, not you throwing a shot on them in a 15-minute appointment. Now, this ain't my first baby. This is my second, so I'm already hip to the Tdap. I'm fine with taking the Tdap today. I just don't like the way that it's been communicated. So, by the time the doctor gets in there, I'm upset. Like, I'm crying. I'm upset. So what I did not tell you guys is 3 weeks ago, I had a phone consult with Duke's anesthesiologist. Now, with my first baby, I was told very blatantly, which I appreciate, that they do not recommend me trying to go down the route of anesthesia with a spinal or epidural. The way the rods sit in my back give me too much probability for paralyzation, if it even works at all. If they hit it and it works, and they're able to hit exactly where they need to hit in the spine, it still may not work because of the rodding and the clamps. Okay, so I have this phone conversation with this anesthesiologist, and he's just on his phone like, yeah, I mean, we can try it. Well, what's the probability that it works? What's the probability that I walk out? Literally walking. Like, what are those probabilities? Because I've had another facility tell me basically, this ain't what you want. And you're talking about, oh, we can try it. So that was like, first of all, if there hasn't been enough red flags, that red flag was the size of Texas. So fast forward back to today. The PA, they have a PA who's in training She comes in. She can visibly see I'm upset. And she asked me what's wrong, and I told her. I said, listen, I'm at a point with you guys where I am fearful for my life. Being an African American and knowing the statistics and the probability of infant mortality and mother mortality during the birth giving process in America, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable that if I have to be put to sleep with a C-section, that my wishes are going to be carried out, that I will be handled with care, and that I will be even considered. And so she listened to what I had to say, and she went and got her daughter. Now, this doctor was the first time I saw her. This doctor was extremely sweet. And I voiced my concerns to her. And she told me, she was like, I'm going to be honest with you, if it was me, I'd switch doctors because there's no trust here. And the only way I could guarantee, like, this particular doctor, see you is to schedule a C-section. And I went in to tell her, well, I want to give another vaginal birth. C-section ain't really what I want to do. I don't want to wake up and be somebody's mama. Y'all have heard me say that 100 times. And she was like, well, looking at the placenta, this was the bombshell for me, okay? So sit down and grab your chairs. I learned today, after all these visits, that my placenta is not even sitting on top of my cervix. My placenta is 8 centimeters away from my cervix. I will say that again. My placenta is not sitting directly over my cervix. It is 8 centimeters away. And I'm just like, okay, then what's all this fuss? Because I was told, it just has to move 1 centimeter away and we'll be good. And she was like, well, actually, no. So peep this. She was like, even if it moves 1.5 centimeters, the placenta is still sitting too close to the cervix for any rational doctor to be comfortable. What she personally would recommend is a scheduled C-section, especially with my fears of my care team, because if I come into labor to give a natural birth with the placenta sitting so close, a couple things can happen. The baby can literally tear the placenta from the uterine wall, which will, number 1, cause internal bleeding. Number 2, it would stop the oxygen from reaching the baby during the childbirth. All of these things would then result into an emergency C-section. And if I come in just regular birth, natural birth, because I'm going into labor, I don't have any control over who is assisting me or doing my C-section. So with my fears, she would suggest, if I chose to stay with this practice, that I do a scheduled C-section. That was a lot of information for me to take in to understand that, like, a C-section is more likely than not. At this point, even if my placenta moves, we're looking at a 43% chance that I may end in an emergency C-section. But God, you know what I'm saying? But God. At the same time, God doesn't expect us to be fools. We also need a plan. And my plan does not include putting 43% of me living or dying in the hands of these folks. So I have a meeting with the practice management. And she's going to provide some recommendations to some wake med facilities that are still in the area that deliver at the same hospital. But I got to get away from this practice. Like, I've been crying. I've been upset. I feel like I've been lied to. I just feel a whole lot of. Then I end up missing my time for the hour glucose. So I get out of my appointment at 9:38. I needed to be back at 9:20. When I get back to the lab, they're basically saying we're going to have to schedule your glucose at another time because you missed the window. I can't keep functioning. No, I will not. I will not. And there's a young lady that I used to work with. She made a very heartfelt comment on one of my earlier videos where she was just saying, like, she didn't listen to the red flags and it put her in a very compromising situation. And I am going to learn from that mistake, and I'm going to do what I need to do, because I'm scared. I am scared to have a baby with this facility. I am scared for my child's life, and I'm scared for my life. I don't feel at all positive that I could walk out of this alive if something went wrong. And that's a really, really scary feeling. And I just broke down in the doctor's office, because it doesn't matter the country you live in. We're in a first world country. It don't matter the money you make. You should not have to feel like you may not be getting the best care that should be afforded to you. I am concerned about the next young lady, and it don't matter her color, her stature, none of that. But the next young lady that comes and sits in that chair in that office, who doesn't have the education or the understanding, and just takes these people at their word and gets subpar care. Because that's what it is. It's shitty, subpar care. And I will not. So I've hit the marker where I have to go back to the doctor every 2 weeks. My plan is to not be going back to this facility in 2 weeks, because my life and my child's life is more important. I have a husband, I have a child that's already here, and they need me, and I want to be here for them. And when I tell you the fear that's inside of me when I think about delivering my baby with these people, pregnancy hormones aside, like, I've never felt a fear like this. I just don't feel confident. There's no trust. It's a mess. And I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll even post this. I don't know if I'll put this in another video. I don't know. But I just wanted to get my thoughts out, because I have to go to work. And that's why I'm covered up. I got on my work shirt. But in case this makes it to y'all, I'm Western's Jess. Thanks for listening to my rant, guys. Bye.